we go.
Recording in progress.
There we go. We're going to put me on speaker or something. Something like that. Anyway, nice to see everybody. Got five kind of big songs from the 70s. One of them barely from the 70s, but that's okay. When last we left, we were looking at, good to see you too, y'all. Don't Be a Stranger. That's 224. We don't want 224. We want 220. We don't want Heard It in a Love Song for a while. Poor Ricky Nelson. All he wanted to do was become a rock star, and everybody wanted him to stay in the 50s. So he went to a rock revival show with Chuck Berry and other stars. And there was some kind of kerfluffle. There is some debate as to exactly what happened. But the thinking is that some people were getting rowdy, and security started to roust the rowdy people. And the crowd started booing security, and Ricky thought they were booing him. And he was just playing, I think, Honky Tonk Women, which of course was not one of his songs, it was a Rolling Stones song. And so he walked off the stage. And so that's what happened. And let's do this. That one there. There I am. Look at that. And so this whole song was all about, I could sing Traveling Man and Lonesome Town and Hello, Mary Lou for the rest of my life, but I prefer not to. And all about that experience. So, what were we going to do? So, when last we left, let's see if this thing is working. See what else is not working today. Let's go on to the action cam. Oh, it's working. When last we left, we were doing, for 2 beats, we were doing strum 1, 2. So strum the chord, and then you do the first string and the second string, strum 1, 2. And I'm just doing a thumb strum, and then hitting the first string with my middle finger, and the second string with my index finger. So I'm going strum 1, 2. So that's 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and. I think you're unmuted, Diana. 2 and 1, 2 and 1, 2 and 1, 2 and. So the intro would be. Of course, nice and slow, F, G7, and that sounds pretty nice. So, obviously you could play this down, down. But we have the time here set aside to work on things, so maybe we'll work on just hearing a little bit more out of your ukulele. It's nice to hear individual notes now and again. E minor 7, F, G7, strum 1, 2, C, strum 1, 2, A minor, F, G7. Now, you could go right into the strum on the first verse. Just a little down, down, up, down. That has 2 dots. That's a typo. It's supposed to have 3 dots over friends, the F over friends. And then you switch 2 lines down to the next one. though, a chance to share old memories. So you've got 4 beats, 4 beats, 4 beats, 4 beats to start, and then all of a sudden you've got this pattern that we did in the intro: 2 beats, 2 beats, 2 beats, 2 beats, 2 beats, 2 beats, 2 beats. And so you decide how you want to play that. You're in the privacy of your own home, of course. But we'll play it nice and slow, and I'll try to do I might not pick out that G7 in the intro at the end there. I might just single strum that to give me time to prepare for when to, because if I'm thinking about doing the 1, 2, then I forget to start the lyrics. So that I might just single strum that G7 at the end there, if you can see that. So there's that. And then the other thing we've been doing in Wicked Game, for example, is for 4 beats, we've been doing strum 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's the exact same thing you've been doing for 2 beats, except you're just repeating that middle and index. You're doing strum 1, 2, 1, 2. So you could do, if you did the intro C, F, G7. So C, 1, 2, 1, 2, F, 1, 2, 1, 2, C, 1, 2, 1, 2, F, 1, 2, and then you're right back to 2 beats. Now let's say, this is impossible, of course, to conceive, but let's say you don't want to do that. Well, then you would just do a went to a garden party, reminisce with my old friends, while I'm doing went to a garden party, reminisce with my old friends, a chance. And you could do a single, just a strum and a first string. Fingers aren't catching up to the 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Just try and do strum in 1. C, pick, E minor, pick, A minor 7, pick, C7, pick, F, pick, G7, pick, C. And I might only single strum that G7 as well. So, yeah, we're just going to fool around with this. The trickiest part of the whole song is going from 3 to 3 and then to 4 to 4, or from 1 to 1 and then 2 to 2, and etc. So when you go back to the chorus and you're all the way down there on the 7th verse, you kind of forget, where was I? I'm up in the chorus, and where did I leave off? What was the last verse that I sang, and where am I supposed to jump back down to? But we'll figure it out, or screw it up, one of the two. Who's got questions? Okay, just a show of hands.
I have a question.
Yes, yeah.
So, sorry. So which string is the index finger plucking on?
The second.
Oh, second from the bottom, not the first. Okay.
So I'm doing, there's no reason why you can't do your index finger for both. But I'm doing my middle finger on assigning my middle finger to the first and my index to the second.
Okay, so it's in the first string, second string.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Strum 1, 2. Strum 1, 2. Check, check. Well, let's see if we can just muddle our way through this. Might as well try it. Voice sounds hoarse already. Life is hard. I know you want to know this. I switched to Trader Joe's pineapple juice away from Dole. And I think Dole is more viscous. That's my takeaway. And Trader Joe's is more watery. 1, 2, 3, 4, slow. We aren't going to sing it that slow, but I just want to get into it. Here we go. Went to a garden party to reminisce my old friends. A chance to share old memories, play our songs again. When I got to the garden party, they all knew my name, but no one recognized me. I didn't look the same, but it's all right now. Learned my lesson well. See, you can't please everyone. You got to please yourself. La da da da. La da da da. Well, people came from miles around. Everyone was there. Yoko brought her walrus. There was magic in the air. And over in the corner, much to my surprise, Mr. Hughes hid in Dylan's shoes, wearing his disguise. But it's all right now. I learned my lesson well. You see, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. La da da da. La da da da. People came from miles around. We already did that. 1, 2, go to 5. I played them all. The old songs. I thought that's why they came. Told you we'd screw up. Me. No one heard the music. We didn't look the same. I said hello to Mary Lou. She belongs to me. When I sang a song about a honky tonk, it was time to leave, but it's all right now. Learned my lesson well. See, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. La da da da. La da da da. I kind of jumped about 4 beats out of that thing, didn't I? Or maybe 8. We're on to 7. Someone opened up a closet door. Out Step Johnny be good, playing guitar like a ringing a bell, looking like he should. You gotta play at garden parties. I wish you a lot of luck, but if memories were all I sang, rather drive a truck. But it's alright now. I learned my lesson well. You see, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. And it's alright now. Learn my lesson well. You can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. Oh my goodness, that was a struggle. Well, that's the thing about picking patterns, you know, if you don't play them, if it's just like, what was Lenny saying the other day about, yeah, the same thing. We were doing picking patterns. You don't do it every day. If it's not part of your practice, then when you pick up your ukulele and you just try to do it, you're going to struggle. And so you got to practice every day, just like shooting buckets. It's not going to go in just because you hope it'll go in. You got to practice shooting it. Well, this should be a panic a minute. Let's check this out.
Well, Bob, if you can't please everyone, you got to please yourself.
Nicely played, nicely played. Well, I could futz around with the sizing on the chord chart, but let's just say the last line is going to represent almost everything you did during the entire previous 18 lines. So we'll figure that out when we get there. I want you to see the chord diagrams, because that's kind of important. Because G6, you know, you look at that and you might, well, what the heck? That's E minor 7, same thing, 0202. And then G major 7, of course, is on the 2nd fret, so I had to add a little 2 there because our diagram has been problematic since the get-go, making G major 7 look like it's on the 1st fret, but it is, of course, on the 2nd fret. Open 222, A minor, you know. C major 7 kind of merges with the D, but that's not a weird bar chord with a 5th string. That's a C major 7 and then the D. And so let's get into this G, crazy G thing that you played 37 times throughout the song. So you might as well get it right, or you're just not going to enjoy the song, or you're going to sit there and say, I'll wait for the next song. And that's no fun. I don't want you to do that. So, playing 2 beats of G. Then, that G major 6, all you have to do is take off the bottom finger of your G. And then what I do is I take those 2 fingers and I scoot them up in the 2nd fret. I just scoot them, you know, they're down here. You're playing a really perfect G6 or E minor 7. It's absolutely perfect. Right up against that 2nd fret. You scooch them up and you do a really tight G form. You stick your ring finger there on the 2nd fret, 2nd string. And then you take it off again. So it is. Don't hold your hand tightly for long periods of time. That's my moral to the story. G twice, 2 fingers twice, 3 crammed fingers twice, 2 fingers twice. And you can do it just like that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I like, so that's down, 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 up, down, down, up, last two chords would be what we would call a jump strum or a shared strum, where you're doing down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. And on the up, down, up, down, you're coming back to that G6 form. So you're going down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down. Now, I used to play this, and then for my G major, but you know, if you bar that G major 7, then you got to pop your two fingers back up again. So I like this scrunched version better. It just seems to me like it works better, but you may want to bar it. If you don't like bar chords and you don't like the scrunch chord, then of course you can rearrange your fingers for a more traditional E minor 7. And then bring two fingers up for 3 fingers G major 7. And then finger back down. So you could jump around like that. I like the utility of the simplicity of just keeping all your fingers right there on the same strings and just scrunching them together or pulling one off. So we're going to do that. How many times? We do that 4 times in the intro. And then all of a sudden you've got this C, 1, 2, 3, 2. So it's a strum of whatever chord it calls out here. Here it's either C or C major 7 and other chords, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And then again, you're back at 1, 2, but now you want that third string. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 2. And you could do that, the whole thing with your thumb if you wanted to. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 2. And when I say 1, 2, 3, 2, I'm talking about first string is 1, 2, second string, 3, third string, back to 2, second string, 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 2. I like to employ my other fingers. Just to help me keep limber and think about doing other picking patterns in the future where you do use all your fingers. But the thumb works just fine. You know, you create your own adventure here at Oakland Uke Jam. So you would end up with the last measure in the intro. C, 1, 2, 3, 2, A minor. C major 7, 1, 2, 3, 2, A minor. And right back into your G. Okay. Forgive me. Blame Trader Joe's on that, for that. If you wanted to, you like the picking pattern, you really would like to master this song and this the way it's laid out and everything. There's no reason why you couldn't do, when you do your C, you couldn't do your A minor. C major 7, A minor, C, A minor, C major 7, A minor. So that gets you through, whether you want to just strum out your A minor or not, that gets you through the first section. I guess we call it the first verse, but it's like 2 verses are mixed in there. And then you get into the Because I'm Still in Love with You, which we'll get to in just a second. But I want to see if anybody has any questions before we move on. So you get all the way, let's go out and feel the night. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you on night, you're right back at. But you do that sequence only twice. Because I'm still. So as you're finishing off that last, because I'm loving. So on the up is when you start the lyric, because I'm still in love with D. I wanna see you once again. Because I'm still in love with D. On this harvest moon. Now I used to tap that out. Still in love with you. Tap, tap, tap. A cappella. On this harvest moon. But it's just as much fun to hit that last D stop. Still in love with you in the shaded area here. Hit that D stop and do a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. First string, second string, third string instead of tapping it out. Tap, tap, tap. Hit your D1 on this harvest moon. Now, Cynthia Lynn takes it up about 7 octaves, and she's got a really nice tutorial. It's all in D. But I can't sing it, so you're stuck in G. And as D, B minor 7, and then you stick your ring finger down there on that first string, 4th fret, for your D major 7, and then come back to B minor 7. Isn't that pretty? But it does take it up, 3 or 4 steps, and I can't do it, man. I can't do it. So, there's no other parts. You're just, if you get this part, and this part, you got the whole thing. You got the whole wide world in your hands. But as Yael would always say, you can't always get what you want. What was I going to do? I know what I was going to do. I was going to not stop sharing. I was going to change the camera. Yeah, for the playthrough. A lot of times I get all excited because we're ready for the playthrough. And so I'll re-look at the instant replay later in the day. And the whole playthrough, you've got a picture of my elbow and the ukulele and nothing else. That's no fun. Let's do a playthrough with the whole ensemble. Anyway. Cuestiones. You guys have played this so much, this is all old hat. Except I did just revise it to include an extra couple of beats and to do a better job with that strum 1, 2, 3, 2. It's not how we play. This is not the chord chart we use in our live jams, because I don't want to go through this explanation for 15 minutes in a live jam situation. So we play it in a little more simplified structure, but still quite beautiful. Maybe our most requested song, I don't know. One, that, and Goodbye Earl. That was a joke. 1, 2, 3, 2, 4. and sleeping, we could dream this night away. But there's a full moon rising, let's go dancing in the light. We know where the music's playing, let's go out and feel the night. 'Cause I'm still in love with you, wanna see you dance again. 'Cause I'm still in love with you on this harvest moon. When we were strangers, I watched you from afar. When we were lovers, I loved you with all my heart. But now it's getting late and the mood is climbing high. I want to celebrate, see it shining in your eye. Because I'm still in love with you, wanna see you dance again. 'Cause I'm still in love with you on this harvest moon. Aw, we did it. Hey, we struggled through that. Boy, that vocal at the beginning. Hi-ya-ya, caramba, chihuahua. Hide the children and put the pets in another room. That's okay, we did it.
Is your original song done?
Dad, this is a funny time to ask that question.
Yeah.
That's a funny one. Let's see what we're doing here. Yes. Yes, is the volume low?
Well, the G's all sound all the same.
Huh. Well, I can't.
That one.
I can tell you this: they were all different.
I know.
I can tell you that. But I am thumb strumming. I'm not trying to knock your microphones out at home. So I'm doing a lot of thumb strumming. And it is a pretty subtle little riff because you are sharing the same two notes on every chord. You're sharing that D and that B on every single chord. So and you are finishing with that B note on your A string at the bottom of every single one. So that's got the B at the bottom, and that's got the B at the bottom, and that's got the B at the bottom. So if I really try to emphasize it, which I wasn't trying to do, then you'd probably hear it a little bit better. Much more subtle with a soft thumb strum. Anyway, there you have it. What were we doing? I know. Have you ever seen the rain? The problem with the H's is you look up at your sheet and you see an H and you think, well, that must be it. But it wasn't. There it is. Have you ever? Well, we have seen some rain this week, haven't we? Let's see, what are we doing? I didn't really practice my fan strum this week as I was getting ready the last few days. I was kind of getting ready for this session. I was more, what was I doing? I don't know what I was doing. Interested, I guess, in some of the possibilities for doing a hammer on some of these chords. But it's a fine time to get out your fan strum. And with the fan, I'm just doing one of two things. I'm either hitting and I'm doing the fan on the second beat, down, fan, up, down. And for the fan, I'm either putting my pinky out there first and fanning my hand, or I'm doing my index finger first and following with my thumb to give that little percussive staccato sound to your strum. It's just kind of a fun thing to do. And again, you're in the privacy of your own home, so you don't need to do that. D7. Yeah, I was probably hammering the E minor with my down, with my middle finger on my E minor. You're coming down, you're releasing to a open E string and coming back down with a G. I was probably having fun with that, and I've been having more and more fun with adding a D note to my C's. You know how you play C sus4, where you add an F note on that first string, second fret. Well, I've been doing C add 9, where you add a D note. And for some reason, that seems to work pretty good when you're moving from C to D7. It's a nice kind of a transition. It's a different sound. We don't play it that often in very many songs. We play a lot of C sus4. And then here again, you've got a shared chord in brackets, 2 chords in brackets, so they're sharing one strum, and you're doing down, down, up on your G, and on the up is when you add your pinky to make that G sus4, you add your pinky into that first string 3rd fret. Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before the storm. I know, yeah, you know, we don't usually use a fan strum on this song, but we're just practicing techniques. And so you can use that to practice with on this song. It works fine. Doesn't really make me think, oh my God, that's the perfect fit for this song. We've discovered the wheel, but it works okay. And yeah, the only other, I think, not much to say. There's a few places where we do a stop and a 2, 3, 4 before we move on. You'll see those in really light shaded areas. But we get to the end and it's, we just did G major 7, E minor 7, and D twice. So that's those last 4 chords down there at the bottom. Last 5 notes, but last 4 chords. Last 5 strums. So who's got questions? One, 2, 3, 4. Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before the storm. I know, and it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say, it'll rain a sunny day. I know, shining down like water. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down on a sunny day. Yesterday, days before, sun is cold, rain is hard. I know, been that way for all my time. Took forever a sunny day. Yeah, I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Wanna know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? Here's your test. Oh, Creedence. That's what we call a topical song. Of course, we play this in our live jams, but that just because we play it in our live jams doesn't mean we would exclude it from this survey of songs, because not everybody who shows up here shows up there. So, and I just revised this. There was some, because it's got so many verses, there was some funkiness to coming from a verse to an instrumental to the chorus to the instrumental. So I fixed it a little bit, not totally, but a little bit. This is a pretty good one to do the fan strum on. Anything that's melancholy is kind of a good one. So there I'm on the D, I'm pulling up the bottom of my D, my bottom finger on the up again, and putting it back down to give a little hammer. And there's so many D's in a row, 4 measures of D in a row in several different places, that to give it a little bit different sound. The hammer is one way to give it a little bit different sound. But the other is to take it to D flat, take all those fingers into the first fret and just bring them right back in. So you're going from D flat to D, nice little slide. And the G, I don't know if you could hear it or not, but on Have You Ever Seen the Rain, I was doing a lot of hammering on that. You can do it on your first downbeat. You can do it on the up. And I'm just pulling off the bottom finger of my G that's touching the C string, and then putting it back down again on the up. Doing it on the F sharp minor. And again, the bottom, what was that, the E string. You're opening up an open E and then putting it down on, what is that, F sharp? As in F sharp minor. Oh my goodness, that's your F sharp note. Ha! And what else? I don't know what else I'm doing. Not getting too fancy on the D, D, A, G. You could do down, up, down. But I usually just do 2 hits. One thing I did change was the outro. When you do the last chorus, and you finish up with Can't Be Wrong on the last chorus, and do all these other 6 measures, or 8 measures, whatever it is. When you get to the end here, then you go all the way down to the outro, and you just keep going. F sharp minor, G, and then I wanted to recall that do, 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 so I bring it back one more time. Who's got questions? Bring out your fans. The question period is now closing. 1, 2, 3, 4. I ain't never been with a woman long enough for my boots to get old. We've been together so long now, we both need resold. If I ever settle down, you'd be my kind, and it's a good time for me to head on down the line. Heard it in a love song. Heard it in a love song. Heard it in a love song. Can't be wrong. I'm the kind of man like to get away, like to start dreaming about tomorrow, today. Never said that I loved you, even though it's so. Where's that duffel bag of mine? It's time to go. I heard it in a love song. Heard it in a love song. Heard it in a love song. Can't be wrong. I'm gonna be leaving at the break of dawn. Wish you could come, but I don't need no woman tagging along. So I'll sneak out that door. Couldn't stand to see you cry. I'd stay another year if I saw a teardrop in your eye. I heard it in a love song. Heard it in a love song. Heard it in a love song. Can't wrangler and a rounder. I guess I always will. Heard it in a love song. Heard it in a love song. Heard it in a love song. Can't be wrong. We're gonna go down to the bottom in a minute for the dramatic conclusion. Let's head south. Oh, Marshall Tucker, Pride of the South. Went to college in Kentucky, so that's kind of big. It was kind of big back there. I think he was big all over. Had a couple great hits. Fire on the Mountain. Can't you see? Heard it in a love song. Don't ask me why we don't do Fire on the Mountain. Fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. Well, another day, another chord chart is what I say. Having a perfectly reasonable Monday, and one of our Saturday people sent me a chord chart. Said it was perfectly vetted, played supremely well, and I spent the next couple hours fixing it. Mo! Whoa, 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 whoa. Jump strumming. Hey. You're thinking, Bob has not said Ukastenic this whole hour. E minor to C, down, down, switch on the up. But you don't have to do that. E minor, keep that. You can keep that index finger just anchored and move to your C. I don't know if that helps or not. I think it helped. D to G, you kind of have to, let me see. I guess if you play your D like that, you just slide your ring finger out one fret and reposition your other two fingers. I don't play my D like that. That's the problem. So I have to jump. I have to go. So there's E minor to C and D to G. Those recur over and over and over again. E minor C, D to G, E minor C, D to G, E minor C, D to G, E minor C, D to G. Oh, at the very end, this last section, whoa, then all of a sudden you got D to E minor. And if you aren't used to jump strumming, then it may make sense just to single strum D, E minor, D rest, E minor rest, D rest, E minor to C, E minor to C, D to G, D to G, until you kind of get the feel of how that movement happens. And then you can go. When I go to D to G, and then I'm going to E minor, I'm just sticking my pinky up there to make that E minor shape. And then I'm coming back to C. for a minute that intro, E minor to C, eek. D to G, E minor to C, and D to G, E minor to C, and D to G. Now, if you want to get into, Neil Young, then you got to get up in your palette. E minor to C, and D to G. Okay.
Bob,
Yeah. Yes.
I'm a little confused. The E minor C is 3 beats on E minor.
So when you let's stop sharing a second. Let me do that. I'm gonna turn my original sound off. I can talk a little bit better. Maybe you can hear me a little bit better. When you have a shared chord, like E minor to C, you're always moving on the up. So it's down, down, up. And the up is your movement to the next chord, down, down. So E minor is down, down, your first 2 down beats. And then the C is on the up. So if you charted it out as 4 beats, you would do 1 and as your first down, 2 as your second down, but the and is where you move to the C. So your E minor only gets 2, not even 2 full beats. It gets a beat and a half, 1 and 2. And so what is that? 3/8. Your E minor gets 3/8 of the measure, and your up, up, down is 5/8 of the measure. So let me do my original sound back on. And make sure you're muted. And let's do down, down, switch. Down, down, switch. Down, down, switch. And D is the same. Down, down, switch. Down, down, switch. Down, down, switch. And then when we get to the bottom, we do D to E minor. So it's always 3/8 and 5/8 because you're using that strum pattern. If you did some other kind of strum pattern, you could decide, okay, I'm going to do 2 beats each, and I'm going to do down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I'm going to go. Then each of those chords in all of the brackets get 2 beats each, and they split the timing. But it's a rhythmic timing pattern when you use an actual strum pattern like down, down, up, down, where you're giving more time to the second chord. Oui, oui.
Thank you.
Ciao bella, buongiorno. What were we gonna do? We're gonna yeah. Let's share that thing again. Let's share that thing again. Hello at home. Here I am. I'm back. Okay. So then we've got C major 7, C6, and G. We got it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. And it looks really complicated, but it's not. You're basically doing on your first string, you're doing C, B, open, B. 3, 2, 0, 2, except you're doing it with a chord. So you're doing. Oops. And C6, of course, is A minor 7, just a different name for A minor 7, or all fingers off. C major 7, C6, G. Except in time it. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can help yourself by hiding your middle finger behind your C on that first string, second fret. You can help yourself by not letting your fingers go way off here when you do your A minor 7. Just have them go a micromillimeter off the strings. Nice and slow. C, C major 7, off, G. So you do. So if we get to the very first one, it's on that third line there. I got my E minor that keeps me searching for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old, and then we'll play the C, C major 7, blah, blah, blah. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Keeps me searching for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old. Ah, iconic riff. I can't believe it. So that's worth practicing. Now, I obviously have had a few weeks to practice this, and you've had like 3 minutes. So don't worry about it if you don't get it. Don't worry about it. But if you like it, then practice it. Other questions? Oh, let's go ahead and play it then. 1, 2, 3, 4. I wanna live, I wanna give, been a miner for a heart of gold. It's these expressions I never give, keep me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. Keeps me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. Been to Hollywood, been to Redwood, cross the ocean for a heart of gold. Been in my mind, such a fine line, keeps me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. Keeps me searching for a heart of gold. And I'm getting old. Keep me searching for a heart of gold. You keep me searching and I'm growing old. Been a miner for a heart of gold. Keep me searching for a heart of gold. what a perfectly good way to spend an hour on a rainy day. What the heck? What the heck? How did we do? How did we do? How did we do? I'm gonna turn my original music off so we just chat for a second. Y'all doing all right out there? Music land?
Thanks, Bob. That was fun.
So well.
Yeah, thanks, Bob.
Well, I hope there was something there for somebody.
Thanks,
Yeah, it was
Bob.
Yeah,
great.
that was good. Bob, when you're troubleshooting, there was a beep that kept happening too. I don't know whether everybody else heard it.
Yeah, I kept hearing it. I was going to say something, but yeah, a squeak that kept coming up
Are you talking about way back when?
during the songs.
Yeah,
During the songs?
yeah.
Huh.
It was a beep. Not a squeak for me, but anyway.
Annie,
It's pretty
do you have
loud.
a beeper?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Do you have a beeper?
No.
I'm trying to pin it on you.
Oh, oh, I have a beeper. It's not on though.
Okay. All right. Diana, was it you?
No, it was not.
Okay. All right. So everybody's kind of thinking it was me, huh? Huh. Okay. All right. So Amy and I are the only thing Amy and I are going to do for the rest of the week is practice with the equipment. Maybe in March it'll all work the way it's supposed to. We'll see. We'll see. Great to see everybody. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks.
Ciao, Bella. Buongiorno.
Bye.
Buongiorno.
See you Saturday?